Hey, this is John from Agile for Everything, and I wanted to talk to you today about the sunk cost fallacy. Have you ever been in a project and you just keep trying to work and work on your project, and you know it's not going well, but you just keep trying and try again and try some more? Well, there has to be a point of where you're going to have diminishing returns, where everything you do, it's really not worth it economically to keep going. So, when do you decide when to stop? That's the hard part. Well, I'm going to share a little story with you about a project I'm working on today where I actually had to apply the sunk cost fallacy. So, a little bit of history. We've been moving some stuff around in the house. We bought the girls all new brand new bunk beds, and so we're moving furniture all around the house to make room for new bunk beds and new playrooms and all that. In moving furniture, we had two leftover bookshelves. We were trying to find new places for these bookshelves. Well, we have some bookshelves downstairs, and unfortunately, they're different color. So if we were to put these bookshelves together, we'd have one brown one right next to a black bookshelf. Really would kind of clash, and it just wouldn't look right. So, great idea. Why don't we just paint the bookshelf? Now, this is just one of your cheap IKEA Billy bookshelves, very sturdy, but not much to it. Very simple. Got the laminate fake wood on the outside. But hopping on some blogs, I found it's not that difficult to paint over those. Just have to sand it down. The blog made it look super easy, super easy. Okay, so I'll get some of the materials. I already have some painting materials. I can just buy the paint and a couple rollers, a couple sanding blocks. It should be good. Should be good to go. Until I got into it. So, um, well, I had to put primer paint down first, so that way the new paint would stick to it. Oh, and I have to sand down before I put the primer on. Oh, and you have to get a special smoother kind of paint roller. Great. All these little things start to add up. Um, and so when I checked out at Home Depot for the first round of purchases, because you can never go to Home Depot once with any home project, um, I saw the printout was 60 some odd bucks right away. Thinking $60. How did I spend $60 with like two little cans, one a can of primer, one can of paint, and a couple of brushes? Sure enough, it adds up pretty quick. And in my back of my head, I'm going, I know these bookshelves are only like $75. So am I really wasting money trying to fix this? Okay, it's not $75, so maybe I'm going to make out in the end. Instead of buying a brand new bookshelf that matches the color, I'll be able to make something new. Well, I prime it, and that takes about 45 minutes of my time, and then it has to dry overnight. And then I come in today and I get ready to paint over the primer, but the primer started flaking. Why did the primer flake? Because it was not sticking well to the the veneer on this shelf. So I'm thinking, great. I'm already going to have to sand over, redo some priming. All of a sudden, you can start to see the the things that could go wrong did. Murphy's Law came into full effect. And so, um, sure enough, we decided to just go for it, paint over it, and let me show you what we did. This is what we have left. We we did get it painted black, but well, we ran out of paint before we could do the shelves, and we're gonna have to do a second coat. Well, that would be my second trip back to Home Depot, and you can hear the birds are even laughing at my project here. So, oh, and by the way, the white primer started flaking off. You can actually see some of the white flakes sticking to the black paint. So I'm gonna have to go over it anyway. Well, another $20 can of paint now puts my project at more than just buying a brand new bookshelf. So my wife and I said, can we recover this? Is this something that's recoverable? Um, can we just do that last coat? But then I got to thinking about the sunk cost fallacy. And so, because of the sunk cost fallacy, I didn't want to waste any more money putting good money into a bad project. My time is worth money. The going over things, rework is money, and rework is waste in lean. And I decided, you know what? We're done. We're just going to stop. We're going to cut our losses. And, rightfully, my wife was like, well, we spent $65 already on materials. Yes. And think what more we'd have to do if we just go get a brand new black bookshelf. One, it'll match. Two, it's new. Three, we know the paint's not going to flake off. All these other reasons to just cut our losses. Except that we tried an experiment, we failed, but let's fail with only a little bit spent instead of a lot spent. So I want you to take this lesson forward and think about, are there any projects in your life where the sunk cost fallacy applies, where you really need to just appreciate the economics and say, regardless of your emotional investment of how much money you've spent into your project, what if I just stopped and tried something different? What else could I do that may get a better return than just going at it and sticking to the plan? So sometimes you have to accept planning is one thing, but sticking to a plan that's not working isn't the best. So thanks a lot. See you next time. Epilogue. I got my bookshelf. Oh, yeah.